So we have already studied few important properties of inductors. How do they behave? Actually, they oppose the change in current inside the circuit. So if in the loop there was a current at t equal to 0 minus, at t equal to 0 plus, you will find the same current. Instantly you cannot change the current in inductor. I have given you two situations where we need to judge how inductors behave. Right, the first one we have discussed already in last class. Have you thought about the second situation? Which bulb will glow brighter and why?
So A will go more brighter.
A
Sir, I
will,
think A will go the brightest, then C,
yes,
then B.
A will
B will
grow brighter, and what
B and
about
C will have same brightness.
B and C will of the same brightness? Yes, that is the correct answer.
But
Look,
see, initially will the bulb B and C will glow.
initially all of them were glowing. Why they will not glow? When I have closed that switch, suppose for a long time, inductors you can treat them as a short circuit. So these three
Yes, sir.
resistors are in parallel. Across them the same potential difference arises. So the bulbs will glow with the same brightness. As soon as I open that switch, for example, initially all of the resistors will carry the same current. Right? When it was closed, all the resistors will carry the same current. Suppose they are carrying current I. So if I see
Sir,
that,
আপনি কি এখানে ইন্ডাক্টর গুলো আইডিয়াল নিয়েছেন?
yes, ideal inductors. Even if not, I
Sir, but direction of current is opposite, na?
uh,
Direction of
in the diagram it is given only. In the diagram it is given. If it was not given, only it is written that there is a coil, then I would have thought of some resistance with the series. In the diagram it is given only.
Sir, the direction of current will be opposite, na, as per the
Yes,
battery.
yes. Sure. Direction of the currents will be opposite because the polarity is positive in this direction. So let us assume the currents are I in this direction. And the direction of current doesn't matter, but again, it should be in this direction. So this is also I, right? Not I, not I. And this current will be 2I. Yes or no? From simple Kirchhoff's junction law, you can see that this current is 2I, this current will be 3I like this. When the battery was in the circuit, this is the situation in steady state. Suddenly, what you have done, you have removed that battery from the circuit. Even if you remove the battery from the circuit, look, the inductors will always try not to change their current in the loop, right? So if I let inductors not change their currents, suppose these are bulbs, then can I adjust the current? That first we have to see. Because this is a closed loop, right? I have not actually broken all the loops. Two loops are still there, so currents can flow in the loop. And the current in that inductor was initially I, so that will try to remain I. And this current was initially 2I, that will also try to remain 2I. Now, in order to make these currents like this, how the currents in the bulbs will change? Look, if this is 2I, then this current will now start carrying 2I current because this is in series, right? If this is I, this bulb will now start carrying current I in opposite direction, and this current is already I. As the brightness only depends on the current, so this bulb B and C will glow with the same brightness because initially it was I, now it is also I. But what is the brightness of A? Brightness of A will be more because it was initially I, now it is carrying current to I, right? So brightness of A is more than B, which is equal to C. That is the answer of this. Next, already we have done it. Now this underground cable, there was a problem in it. I tried you to find out that problem. Okay. Let us.
Sir, কিন্তু আমি এটা লুপ তো ফাইন্ড করা যাচ্ছে না।
Huh? Okay. Let me calculate and then you.
স্যার, আনসারটা মনে আছে আপনার?
নো 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 আনসার মনে নেই।
তাহলে এটা ছাড়াও আরেকটা হোমওয়ার্ক ছিল
স্যার ওইটা পরের সপ্তাহে করলে ভালো হয়, ওটা দেখেই নি।
দেখছি তারাও দেখছি, আগে এটা কোড সলভ তো করি। I think it was a situation where there are lots of current carrying conductor inside the volume of this solid core, and just on the surface of the thin spherical shell the same current is carried, but it is out of the plane. Right? Now how the flux is produced? Look, I am talking about the flux method first. Suppose if you see that the magnetic fields inside are forming closed loops like this, yes or no? Inside magnetic fields are forming closed loop like this. So if you take a area, let me take this area like this. Can you see a perpendicular area to this magnetic field lines?
ইয়েস স্যার। স্যার কিন্তু আমি যখন ফ্লাক্সটা নিয়েছিলাম আমি ওই ওয়্যারের ভিতরটা নিইনি।
ওয়্যারের ভেতরে না নিলে তুমি
আমি
কি
শুধু ওই
করে,
ফ্রি।
তাহলে তো একই পাবে, এইটার জন্য তো একই পাবে, আসল ব্যাপার তো ওয়্যারের ভেতরে। দেখো, this is the area. Suppose what is the length of this area? 1 meter.
এই রেডিয়াস।
Yes, and this is a total radius b. Out of this b you can divide this total length b into two segments. One is from 0 to a, another is from a to b. Yes or no?
ইয়েস।
One is from 0 to a, another is from a to b. So from 0 to a, what is the magnetic field? It depends on the radius r that I can find from Ampere's law. Yes or no? Right? So at a distance r, if I take a small strip of length dr, r dr, what is magnetic field at a distance r? B r into 2 pi r is equal to total current is I mu naught into I divided by pi r square. Current per unit area হয়ে গেল mu naught I enclosed is into pi into small r square. Check if I am not wrong. B r multiplied by 2 pi r, b dot dl is equal to mu naught into I enclosed. Right? I think I have got correct calculation. So br for r less than a, 0 to a. So br is equal to mu naught I into r.
I by pi s square।
I by কত হবে? পাই।
আর এ হবে।
আচ্ছা আচ্ছা, আরটার জায়গায় পার এ হয়ে যাবে, ঠিক। The radius is a given. Okay. So that is BR for less than A. And for R greater than A and less than B, what can I say? For their magnetic field BR into 2 pi R is equal to mu naught into I only, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So BR is equal to mu naught into I divided by 2 pi R. Now can I find the total flux, which is equal to B into area? Area is dr into 1. Area is dr into 1. So is it mu naught I by 2 pi, mu naught I by 2 pi integral of 1 by s square r by s square dr r from 0 to a plus dr by r from a to b. Can I say that? Yes or no? Look, I'm showing you the problem. That is why the answer you will get here is a wrong answer. What I'm trying to say that look, in the same loop only, what actually we need to calculate? Suppose there is a current carrying wire, one conducting wire, you assume, one conducting wire which is carrying a small current I, right? And the conducting wire is placed not at the center of the bundle conductor is this one. This is the center. Suppose at a certain distance less than A, there is a current carrying conductor. And this conductor, when it is carrying the opposite current, it is at B, the same current I. Can you see that? One conductor can follow this loop, one conductor. But when I am calculating flux, so in this case, flux should be calculated by this conductor only multiplied by this area. But when I am calculating the flux here, I am not taking the contribution of this conductor only multiplied by this area. I have taken an average. I have taken that all the conductors are contributing the flux in this area. That is why I am integrating from 0 to A for all the conductors. Yes or no? Have you got it? Okay. What is the flux here?
Mu naught I by 2 pi into
So L is
half
equal
plus
to, I will cancel I. It will be mu naught by 2 pi into,
half
এটা কি হয়ে যাবে 1 by a square into r dr means
half
r square by 2. It will be half. And that part will be
ln b by a.
ln b by a. Okay, no problem. Now we will talk about energy method. In energy method, what we can do, look where the energy lies. Energy is lying inside the volume, right? Outside there is no energy because there is no field. If you use Ampere's law, you will find the net current inside zero. So outside field is zero.
Sir,
So
outside the field থাকবে
outside the field থাকবে না. So I will only find the energy inside.
স্যার থাকবে মানে ওই ক্রস কারেন্টের জন্য তো আউটসাইডে ফিল্ড থাকবে।
Total current is zero.
আচ্ছা হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ সরি সরি টোটাল কারেন্ট
You can see that the magnetic fields are moving in circular paths. So I will take a small cylindrical shell of radius r and thickness dr and length L. Can I say inside that cylindrical shell the magnetic fields are circulating like this? Yes or no?
স্যার লেন্থ কত নিলেন সিলিন্ডারটা?
1 meter. এইরকম একটা সিলিন্ডার ধরেছি, R may be less than A, R may be greater than A. Only magnetic field will vary. Yes or no? So what is the total energy? Look, magnetic field energy density is B square by 2 mu naught. If I multiply it with the volume, what volume I will assume here? What is the volume? Can you
2
tell
pi
me?
r into the volume of the cylinder. 2 pi r d.
It's not 2 pi r dr. Yes, 2 pi r
2 pi
dr
r
into
dr
1.
into 1.
Yes.
No, so it is 2 pi r dr.
2 pi dr into 1 ই তো হচ্ছে।
Yes. It is 2 pi r dr into 1. Yes. So I will now integrate it. Total energy is equal to integration of that. But magnetic field changes from 0 to A and from A to B. এটা বুঝতে পেরেছো কি করে আমি ভলিউমটা নিয়েছি?
Yes.
Magnetic field is circulating,
Yes, sir.
right? So I have taken small cylindrical shell. So I can integrate it for this one and this one. So first one is 1 by 2 mu naught into mu naught I r divided by 2 pi s square into 2 pi r dr from r equal to 0 to A. And the second one is 1 by 2 mu naught into mu naught I by 2 pi s square, mu naught r by 2 pi s square, mu naught I by 2 pi r into 2 pi r dr. Yes or no? Integrate from A to B. Right? Can you find what is that integration? Do this integration. What you will find? Two gets cancelled out. So mu naught I square pi and 4 pi square. Four pi. Okay, and that is r square and r cube dr, a power 4 by 4. A power 4 by 4. মানে a square by 4 হয়ে যাবে, প্লাস mu naught I square
স্যার ওটা 1/4 হতো না?
1 by
ওখানে এক পাওয়ার পর নিচেও থাকবে একটা 1/4 হবে।
a স্কয়ার 10 টু দি পাওয়ার 2
আচ্ছা a square ঠিক ঠিক ঠিক। And that will be how much? Mu naught I square 2 pi r dr
ln b by
ln
a
of
by হবে।
ln of b by a.
Yes, sir. তাহলে আগেরটা ভুল ছিল।
So if this is half L I square gets cancelled out, 2 gets cancelled out. So L you will get mu naught by 2 pi 1 by 4 plus ln b by a. Right? Now look, there is a difference between the results. This is more than what we have calculated by this method, right? So that must be the reason for taking the flux. Somewhere we have taken wrong flux here, right? Okay, I'll leave this question for your thinking again. You just think about it. Why the flux method is not correct here, right? Okay, look. Now we will talk about circuit with a DC source. LR circuit with a DC source. As we have seen that any current in the circuit can be also written as A plus B e power minus t by tau. Yes or no? Where tau is equal to L by R, right? So similarly we can solve. Do you remember we have solved it in capacitors like this? Do you remember that? Capacitor we have calculated charge. Here we have to calculate the current. So let us take one example. In the circuit shown,
আইডের জায়গায় কি ছিল?
হ্যাঁ ক্যাপাসিটরে কিউ ছিল, এখানে আমি কারেন্ট নিয়ে করছি। In the circuit shown, the initial current in inductor is 0. Find the current in inductor as a function of time after the switch is closed. A very simple question. Suppose I have closed the switch at t equal to 0, right? And the current in the inductor is I, like this. Current in the inductor is I. So first tell me at t equal to 0, 0 plus just, at t equal to 0 plus, what should be the current in inductor? Still 0 or not?
0 0
So if current at t equal to 0 plus is 0, I can just put the value t equal to 0 here. So can I find A plus B equal to 0? At t equal to infinite, what is the current in inductor?
I.
I?
Sorry, A.
V by R.
By 3R.
V by 3R.
Yes?
V by 3R.
V by 3R, sure.
V by R. V by R only.
V by R.
At t equal to infinity, how do I treat inductors?
Short circuit.
Short circuit.
If you short circuit this, will current flow in 2R?
No.
No.
No, so then V by R.
Yes. So V by R, the current is V by R, and t equal to infinity, V by R is equal to A, yes or no?
A.
Yes. And also you can say that what is the potential difference across this at t equal to infinity? At t equal to infinity,
0.
yes, at t equal to infinity, there is no current. Look here, there is no current in the 2R branch, right? So the potential difference across this inductor is also 0, right? So can I find di by dt? Di by dt is equal to minus b by tau into e power minus t by tau. Yes or no? So at t equal to 0, let us calculate. At t equal to 0, if I try to calculate what is di by dt, can I say at t equal to 0, L into di by dt is nothing but the potential difference across 2R? Yes or no? That is 2V by 3. Check if I have got the correct expression. Look at t equal to 0. What is the current in this branch?
V by 3R. V by 3R.
V by 3R.
V by
So what is the potential difference across this 2R?
2V by 3. 2V by 3.
2V by 3. So is that nothing but L di by dt, because that are in parallel, they are in parallel?
তো কিন্তু ও তো ব্যাক ইএমএফ জেনারেট করবে না।
সেই ব্যাক ইএমএফটাই তো এলডিআইডিটি।
না, ব্যাক ইএমএফ কি জেনারেট করবে?
কেন করবে না? Current is changing there. If there is no current, does that mean that current is not changing? There is no didt.
আচ্ছা, ঠিক আছে।
Didt is there. Even if current is zero, didt is there,
হুম।
right? So can I say di by dt? And also you can see that if I say that back EMF will be generated like this, plus minus, and current is flowing from here to here, right? So that is also higher potential. So they are same. So di by dt is equal to 2v by 3l, and that is equal to minus b by tau. E power minus t by tau is 1 or not at t equal to 0? Right. So if a equal to this, then b is equal to minus v by r. Then what will be the value of tau? 3l by 2v into v by r. Is it 3l by 2r? Yes or no? Have you got it?
So how did you get B?
A plus b
A
equal to
plus
0.
B equal to 0.
আচ্ছা,
A equal to v by r. So b equal to minus v by r. And I can put this equation here. These three equations are sufficient to find the three unknowns. Yes or no?
স্যার আর ওই যে ব্যাক ইএমএফ এর ডিরেকশনটা আপনি দেখালেন,
Yes. আমি
Plus
সবসময়
minus.
অ্যাজিউম করেছি কারেন্ট পজিটিভ করে আমি এই ইকুয়েশনে এসেছি। কারেন্ট ইজ ইনক্রিজিং। রিমেম্বার উই হ্যাভ অ্যাজিউমড অলওয়েজ কারেন্ট ইজ ইনক্রিজিং।
কারেন্ট ইনক্রিজ করলে তো ও তো ব্যাক ইএমএফটা উল্টো দিকে দিবে না?
উল্টো দিকে তো যাচ্ছে।
হ্যাঁ, ঠিক আছে, ঠিক আছে,
এটা তো একটা সেল, তো সেল উল্টো দিকে কারেন্ট দেবে না ওকে।
ঠিক আছে।
স্যার ওই জায়গাটাতে এলডিআইডি এর আগেরটা একবার মুছে দেবেন।
ডিআই বাই ডিটি আমি এখান থেকে বার করেছি। এলডিআই বাই ডিটি ইকুয়াল টু ভি বাই 3 কি করে হলো? টি ইকুয়াল টু 0 তে এর যে ব্যাক ইএমএফ সেটা তো এল ইন্টু ডিআই বাই ডিটি হয়,
হ্যাঁ
and that must be equal to the potential difference across the resistance to R.
হ্যাঁ স্যার
What is that? Current is V by 3R or not? Because it is not carrying any current at t equal to 0. তাহলে R to R সিরিজে আছে ধরা যাবে?
হ্যাঁ স্যার
তাহলে এর অ্যাক্রসে পোটেনশিয়াল 2V by 3 হবে তো?
হ্যাঁ স্যার বুঝেছি।
Also, alternatingly, you can find this tau by a similar method that we have used in capacitor. Do you remember in capacitor what we have done?
ওই ক্যাপাসিটর প্লেট দুটোর মধ্যে রেজিস্ট্যান্সটা বের করে নিয়ে
হোয়াট দ্য স্যার?
Huh?
স্যার এই ইকুয়েশনটাকে লাগিয়েছি q a প্লাস b টু দি পাওয়ার t বাই হবে
But
t বাই tau
to calculate tau,
ক্যাপাসিটর প্লেট দুটোর মধ্যে মানে প্লেট দুটোকে টার্মিনাল ধরে রেজিস্ট্যান্সটা ইকুইভ্যালেন্ট রেজিস্ট্যান্সটা
and what did we do with that battery?
শর্ট
শর্ট সার্কিট
Short circuit. So if you short that battery and find the equivalent resistance between this two. If you short the battery, can you find the equivalent resistance between these 2 points?
2R/3
What will be R equivalent? R equivalent is 2R by 3 or not?
yes
Right? So tau is equal to L by R. Equivalent. Right? In this way also you can calculate tau. So this entire calculation is not needed. You can just put the value of tau and you will find A and B from this one. Just try to solve this question. I think a very similar type of question. Look, anyone got any answer? Again, it depends on the property of inductor that it does not change the current instantly. What is energy stored in the inductor? Can I say it is half L I square? So the question is rate of change of the energy. So I have to calculate du by dt, yes or no? Into 2i into di by dt. So basically I have to calculate L into I into di by dt. Now current, can I say that current will remain the same before and after closing that switch? Yes or no?
Yes.
Current in the inductor, will it change? No, it will remain the same. So what is the value of current? Can you tell me?
2 ampere.
I.
Yes,
E by R.
E by R only.
This is an answer. 400 by 3 to the power minus 40.
Yes, what's the answer? 4?
100 by 3 to the power minus 40.
I cannot hear you actually. 4 by 3.
So 400 by 3 e to the power minus 40.
E to the power minus 40. Rate of change, but t, it should not be a function of t. At t equal to 0, you have to calculate. So at t equal to 0, your answer is 400 by 3 actually. Right? I do not have to find the function of time here. The question is asking only the rate of change. Okay. So I is equal to E by R. What about the di by dt? That is important to calculate here. Have you got di by
L
dt?
into di by dt, we take it as V.
L into di by dt, what I will take?
Delta V.
What delta V?
Potential
I
difference.
do not know now the current in this branch. I do not know the current in this branch. The current in both the branches will change accordingly so that the net current is I. Yes or no? Earlier, only this branch was carrying current I. But after I close that switch, can I assure that only this current will carry current I? Or this current can also carry a current I? I1 or I2. So that the total current is I. That also can happen, yes or no?
Yes.
So let us draw the circuit in this way. Can I make a equivalent circuit with this two battery inductors being separated?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me the equivalent EMF and resistance?
But ইন্ডাক্টরেরও তো একটা পোটেনশিয়াল ডিফারেন্স থাকবে, তো ওটা কি একটা ব্যাটারি হিসেবে ট্রিট করবো না?
Yes, the potential difference will be the same across this. They all are in parallel. Yes or no? So what is the EMF? This is E. This is 3E. And this is R. This is 2R. Right? So if I take this 3E positive or 3 negative E positive, so E equivalent by R equivalent. R equivalent is 2R by 3 or not? Is equal to E by R minus 3E by 2R. Do you remember this formula or not?
প্যারালাল সেল।
Yes.
E equivalent by R equivalent is E1 plus E1 by R1 plus E2 by R2. Why I have taken minus? Because
Reverse polarity.
yes, the reverse polarity.
Polarity is reversed.
Good. So what is E equivalent? Calculate karo fatapat. R will get cancelled out. So it is 2 by 3 into E
Minus 3 by R.
minus 3E by 2. So it is minus E by 2. So is it minus E by 3?
Yes, sir.
Minus means the final potential will be like this. Yes or no? Initially the current in the inductor was in which direction? Current in the inductor was in this direction. So current in the inductor is in this direction. This is E equivalent. This is R equivalent. Now can I say that this equivalent should carry the same current I? Yes or no? Because now there is only one circuit. So this equivalent should carry the same current I. So what is now the potential difference across these two ends? Can you tell me what is potential difference?
Equivalent
Minus IR. Equivalent minus IR.
plus IR.
Yes?
E equivalent plus IR equivalent.
E plus IR or minus IR?
E plus I.
Okay.
Plus.
Suppose this is V1, this is V2. Whenever in doubt, apply basic concept. Right? So can I say V1, this will be minus E equivalent? I'm going positive to negative, yes or no? That is minus IR equivalent is equal to V2, yes or no? So V1 minus V2 is E equivalent plus I into R equivalent,
Yes, sir.
right? I've already changed the polarity, so no need to take the negative sign. So is it E by 3 plus 2 by 3 R into what is I? E by R. So E by 3 plus 2E by 3, it is again E. But the polarity has reversed only. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So I can say now L into di by dt. L into di by dt. Actually here you will find negative. Why? Because look, this polarity is positive. V1 minus V2 is positive. V1 is positive, V2 is negative, right? And here you are getting positive, negative. So the rate of change of energy, I think it will decrease, right? But whatever it may be, I don't have to bother. I have to only
Yeah,
find
I
the
can
magnitude.
understand the direction of equivalent.
Yes,
Polarity of equivalent.
polarity of E equivalent. Is it negative or not?
But which direction have you taken as to?
I have taken E positive minus 3 negative. So this direction, this negative, this positive is my positive direction.
Okay, sir.
Negative means this is positive, this is negative. Yes or no? So what is the magnitude only of the LDIDT that I have to calculate? It is E. So I think the answer of du by dt will be L into E by R into di by dt, which is E by L. E square by R should be your answer.
এই লাস্ট পার্টটা বুঝিয়ে দেবেন মানে নেগেটিভ কিউ আছে
I have assumed current increasing in this direction. So L di by dt will be positive like this. This is positive terminal, this negative terminal. So if you take a loop equation, what you will find? L di by dt, no, or minus L di by dt, minus L di by dt minus V1 minus V2 is equal to 0. এটা পজিটিভ, এটা নেগেটিভ, এটা নেগেটিভ, এটা পজিটিভ, তার জন্য এটার যা potential difference, that will be just opposite to that.
obviously.
স্যার তো ম্যাগনেটিক এনার্জি ডিক্রিজ করছে,
ম্যাগনেটিক এনার্জি, ইয়েস,
ডিক্রিজ করছে।
অ্যাকচুয়ালি তুমি দেখো ফার্স্টে ডিক্রিজ করবে তারপর ইনক্রিজ করবে, বিকজ the polarity, the actual polarity is reversed, so finally the current should be opposite direction, yes or no? So if finally
Sir,
current
can
is
no?
in opposite direction, so initially this current has to reduce its value, then it will increase. So at this instant it is decreasing.
স্যার কিন্তু এল ডিআইডিটি টা মাইনাস করে আরেকবার বলবেন।
হ্যাঁ পজিটিভ আসছে স্যার, এলডিআই বাই ডিটি।
কি করে?
লুপটা যদি নেই আমি,
আচ্ছা, এটার ভ্যালু LDIdt তো, এখান থেকে এখানে গেলে আমি প্লাস লিখবো না মাইনাস লিখবো?
মাইনাস।
Minus.
আচ্ছা, এটা প্লাস V1, এটা মাইনাস V2, বলতে পারবো? তাহলে LDI/dt
ইজ ইকুয়াল টু V1 মাইনাস V2।
আচ্ছা দাঁড়াও, LDI/dt, এটা পজিটিভ টার্মিনাল এসেছে না? LDI/dt,
স্যার ওটা আসলে মাইনাস V1 মাইনাস V2 হবে, মাইনাস অফ V1 মাইনাস V2।
হ্যাঁ, এখান থেকে এইটার পোটেনশিয়াল ডিফারেন্সটা V1 মাইনাস V2, তো পোটেনশিয়াল তো কমছে এখান থেকে এখানে যাচ্ছে না?
হ্যাঁ স্যার, তাহলে এলডিআইডিটি মাইনাস হবে।
So LDI/dt will be minus of V1 minus V2, which is minus.
আচ্ছা আপনি এটা তাহলে তো ওইখানে এলডিআই বাই ডিটা পজিটিভ আসবে,
এই
মানে
লুপ তো
ডাইরেক্টলি
নিলাম,
এটা লুপ নিন, ওই পয়েন্ট V1 থেকে স্টার্ট করে পুরোটা যদি লুপ নিন, V1 V2 কে লিখবো না, তাহলে মাইনাস ইকুইভ্যালেন্ট প্লাস আর ইকুইভ্যালেন্ট।
V1
আচ্ছা এলডিআই বাই নেগেটিভ আসবে, এটা নেগেটিভ আসবে।
লুপ ইকুয়েশন তুমি যেভাবেই লেখো আনসার তো সেম আসবে, ঠিক আছে? তো এইটা হবে না, দিস নট দ্য কারেক্ট আনসার। ই স্কয়ার কত? ইয়েস, 200 into 200/10.
তো ওই লাস্টের পার্টটা একবার বলে দেবেন, ওই এল ইন্টু ডিভিডিটিউটা, মানে ডিভিডিটিউট,
কোনটা?
ওই ডিভিডিটিউটা মানে
du/dt এখানে ক্যালকুলেট করা হয়েছে, ইট ইজ L into I into di/dt.
ও আচ্ছা ওটা হ্যাঁ স্যার।
I এর ভ্যালু আমার জানা আছে, di/dt ক্যালকুলেট করে নিয়েছি E/L, বসিয়ে দাও ভ্যালু।
হ্যাঁ স্যার।
Okay, this question I will leave this for your homework. A similar type of question, function of time you have to calculate. A parallel circuit consists of two ideal inductors, L to L. Look, ideal inductors also shown in the diagram, L and 2L, and a resistance R. At any instant, the same current I0 was flowing in both the inductances in the same direction. How much charge will flow and how much heat will be dissipated in the resistors after this instant? The initial conditions are given, right? Initial conditions are given that both of them are carrying current I0 in the same direction. What can you say about the final condition? Yes?
4L by 3 I naught square.
4 by 3, yes. 4 by 3 Li naught square will be the answer. What can you say about the final conditions? You can say that finally both of them will carry zero current, because finally the resistance should carry zero current, yes or no? Finally, which branch will carry zero current? Definitely the resistance will carry zero current at infinite condition. Otherwise the heat will go on dissipating.
Hmm.
But does it mean that if this current is zero, both of the currents are zero?
No.
No. Final condition may be like this, that this branch is carrying current I and this branch is carrying minus I, so that the total current in this resistor is becoming zero. Yes or no? That is also possible. How do we know that what is happening? Think about the equivalent circuit. Can I say that finally I am sure that in equivalent circuit there is no current? Yes or no? Because
Equivalent circuit, no current.
L equivalent. If I use L equivalent, then it is only in series with R. There is no other resistance or inductor there. They are directly series connection. So if current in inductor is resistor is zero, inductor current must be zero. Yes or no?
Hmm.
Right? So you have to think about the equivalent circuit, right? Equivalent of the inductors, 2L by 3. Finally, in this equivalent circuit, it is 0, final. And initially in this 2L by 3, what was the current?
2I naught.
2I naught. So what is the change in energy? Half into 2L by 3 into 2I naught square. Because finally it is 0. So that is 4 by 3 Li naught square.
তো ফাইনালি জিরো একবার বলবেন কেন?
ফাইনালি যদি জিরো না হয় তাহলে রেজিস্ট্যান্সে কারেন্ট থাকলে তো হিট ডিসিপেট হতেই থাকবে।
স্যার এটা হতে পারে নাকি আইটা ডিক্রিজ করছে এক্সপোনেনশিয়ালি, তো ইনফিনিটি
তো ফাইনালি তুমি যদি দুটোকেই জিরো করে দাও, আমি বললাম তো সেটাও পসিবল, কিন্তু সেটা হলেও তো তোমার ইকুইভ্যালেন্টে জিরোই আসবে। Finally, even if the current is zero, the equivalent will be zero in that case also. So this is definitely correct. And if it matches with, if you take them zero, if the answer were 3 by 2 Li naught square, you can definitely say that final currents are zero. But here I can definitely say that final currents are not zero. Right? That is only one possibility, that I is zero. But I may not be zero. বলো, কোনো ডাউট আছে এতে?
প্যারালাল সার্কিট কারেন্টটা আছে সেটার একটা এক্সপোনেনশিয়াল ডিকে হতে পারে।
হতে পারে। ধরে নাও দুটো কারেন্ট উল্টো দিকে চলতে শুরু করলো, একটা তাড়াতাড়ি জিরো হয়ে গিয়ে উল্টো দিকে চলতে শুরু করলো, কোনো একটা ইনস্ট্যান্টে এই দুটো এক্স্যাক্টলি ম্যাচ করে গেছে। তারপর তো এই দিকের কারেন্ট রেজিস্ট্যান্স নেই সার্কিটে। ইফ দেয়ার ইজ নো রেজিস্ট্যান্স ইন দ্যাট সার্কিট, তারপর কারেন্ট কি হবে? তারপর তো তোমার টাউ এর ভ্যালু এল বাই আর, আর যদি জিরো হয়ে যায় তাহলে ইনফিনিটি, মানে ইনফিনিটি পর্যন্ত সার্কিট চলতেই থাকবে।
আরটা কেন জিরো হচ্ছে?
যখনই এই সার্কিটে দুটো কারেন্ট সেম হয়ে গেল, তখন তো এই ব্রাঞ্চে আর কোনো কারেন্টই যাবে না কোনো সময়।
না,
তাহলে রেজিস্ট্যান্স থাকা না থাকা একই ব্যাপার।
আচ্ছা।
বুঝতে পারছো কি হচ্ছে সিচুয়েশন? আমি আবার বলছি, suppose in this branch the current was I naught, this branch current was also I naught. Let us assume that this current decreases, this current also decreases because there is resistance. But suppose this current decreases rapidly than this one, right? This has 2L, this has L. So this current suppose decreases rapidly, so it will become to 0 and then it will reverse its direction. So as soon as it reverses its direction, now it will increase and it will decrease. So there will be some time when both the currents are same and this condition is achieved. As soon as we achieve this condition, what will be current on the resistance? 0. After that, is there any role in the resistance on the circuit? No. And this current will now continue flowing here only. And how much, what will be the charge flown? How much is the charge flow? How can I find that? The charge flow?
Sir, if we consider the equivalent EMF of the two inductors,
EMF is not needed. I can definitely find that if the current in the resistor anytime is I, then I find that current will be some function initial current. Suppose it will also follow a plus b e power minus t by tau function, yes or no? But I all know everything that tau is equal to what? Tau is equal to 2L by 3R. Right? Initially a plus b was not 0. Initial current a plus b was 2I naught, yes or no? Can you see that? Initial current is 2I naught and final current, what is final current?
0.
Yes, at t equal to 0 and at t equal to infinity, the final current A is equal to 0. So what is the function of current? 2I naught into e power minus t by tau. Can you see that? So dq by dt I will integrate it. From t equal to 0 to infinity. Right? So q is equal to 2I naught. What will be this one? T by tau. So I think it will be multiply with tau, right? And e power infinity 0, yes, minus. So I think that will be our answer. 2I naught into tau is 12 by 3R. Have I got it correct? Yes. Tau I have to multiply and then it is e power minus t by tau. E power minus infinity is 0 and minus 1. So minus minus plus. I think that is the answer. 4I naught L by 3R. Two parallel conducting rods are connected with an ideal inductor L at one end. Another conducting rod of mass m length L can freely slide over the parallel rods. System is placed inside a uniform magnetic field. At t equal to 0, the movable rod is given a velocity u. Find the velocity and displacement as a function of time. We have done similar questions in with capacitors, I think. Do you remember with capacitor we have done a similar question, I think. So with inductor, what will happen?
স্যার আইটা তো আই নট সাইন ওমেগা টি অমনি আসছে, আই নটটা কি করে বার করবো বুঝতে পারছি না।
v naught তো দেওয়া আছে না সিস্টেমের ইনিশিয়াল ভেলোসিটি। ইয়েস, ইউ।
স্যার ইকুয়েশনটা কি এরকম আসবে d2i by dt2 plus b square a square by m into i equal to 0? এটা স্যার i এর ইকুয়েশন আছে।
আসতে পারে তো আই এর ফাংশনও এরকম সাইন ফাংশন আসবে কিছু একটা
তাহলে ওমেগা দিয়ে কি ট্রিক ছিল না, এটা এসএইচএম এর এরকম
এসএইচএম এর ইকুয়েশন, হ্যাঁ দে আর অল এসএইচএম ইকুয়েশন।
স্যার কিন্তু আই নট সাইন ওমেগা টি আসছে, কিন্তু আই নটটা কি করে বার করবো বুঝতে পারছি না।
চলো
ইনিশিয়াল কন্ডিশনটা দিয়ে i not 0 আছে ওটা দিয়ে
look, suppose at certain instant it has moved a distance x and its velocity is v. As it is moving in a cross magnetic field b, so I can replace it by a EMF, cell EMF of BLV. Yes or no? Right? And suppose the current in circuit is I at that instant. So also there will be a force of I L cross B in this direction. Right? So EMF is equal to BLV and force is equal to ILB. Can I say that L into di by dt, as I have assumed current increasing, so that is plus, that is minus, and that is also plus, that is also minus. So I can write L di by dt is equal to BLV.
একবার বলুন।
তাহলে dv সমান IL by v into di আসছে।
আগে বলো ইকুয়েশন বুঝতে পেরেছো?
স্যার এই লুপটা কোনখান থেকে গেলেন একবার বলুন।
এই লুপটা প্লাস ই, এখান থেকে আমি যদি এখান থেকে ধরি প্লাস ই, এখান থেকে এখানে মাইনাস এল ডিআই বাই ডিটি ইকুয়াল টু জিরো। সো ই ইজ ইকুয়াল টু এল ডিআই বাই ডিটি। Yes or no? I can write it here like this. Also, force is equal to minus m dv by dt. Can I write that? Because it is direction is opposite. Clearly, it can be seen. So from here I can say that BLV. If I find di by dt from here, I want to find a function of v, right? You all have calculated function of I, but I is not needed. The question is asking for v and x. So I will replace di by dt in with d2v by dt2, because if I differentiate again, I will get BL into di by dt, that is equal to minus m into d2v by dt2. Right? Now I will combine these two equation and we can write L into di by dt is minus of m divided by b into L into d2v by dt2 is equal to b into L into v. So look, the equation becomes d2v by dt2 is equal to minus b square L square by ml into v. Yes or no? Can I use this as omega square? Right? So omega is equal to root over of b square L square by ml. Function of v should be v naught into or u into sine omega t plus phi. Yes or no? Why I have written here u, or let it write as a. Is it okay now? Now look, v has its maximum value at t equal to 0, because after that force will decrease the velocity v. Yes or no? So at t equal to 0, v is max and that is equal to u. So if I put t equal to 0, the function becomes v equal to a sine phi. কারণ তারপর তো ফোর্সের ডিরেকশন উল্টো দিকে লাগছে, ভেলোসিটি ক্যান নেভার ইনক্রিজ।
আচ্ছা,
so v equal to a sine phi at t equal to 0, and if it is maximum, then what should be the value of phi?
90.
by z.
Then phi equal to 0 or 90 degree?
Pi by degree.
Pi by 2. And
স্যার কিন্তু আপনি যদি Vmax কে ইউ করতে চান, আমি তো অ্যাডজাস্ট করে a আর পাই কে আরবিটারি ভ্যালু ধরতেই পারি। ভাবুন আমি
a তো
এটাকে
একটা কনস্ট্যান্ট, আরবিটারি কি করে ধরবে? a is a constant.
হ্যাঁ না, আমি যদি বলি কি এটাকে আপনি √2u ধরুন আর ফাইটাকে 45 ডিগ্রি ধরুন,
তাহলে কি ম্যাক্সিমাম ভ্যালু পাবে? আই এম
না,
টেলিং
√2u
দ্যাট
তো কোনোদিন অ্যাচিভই করবে না। √2u তাহলে ওমেগা টি এর যে কোনো একটা ভ্যালুতে √2u অ্যাচিভ করার কথা, কিন্তু √2u তো অ্যাচিভ হবে না।
এটা কি ইউ এর থেকে বেশি ধরতে পারবে? আচ্ছা চলো তুমি কোনো কিছু ধরে নাও, a sin phi will be maximum where a is a constant. Yes or no?
ইয়েস
Then what is the value of phi? That should be 90 degree.
ওকে ওকে
So I can say that value of v is equal to u cos omega t. Have you got it?
ইয়েস
Then I can find what is the value of x. From here, dx by dt is equal to u cos omega t. So x is equal to u is constant cos omega t dt. From 0 to t you integrate it, find your answer. U by omega sin omega t. Yes or no?
স্যার কিন্তু আমি ইনিশিয়াল কারেন্টটা কি করে বার করব?
ওখানে প্রথমে কারেন্ট ছিল না, তাই জিরো করে দিই।
ইনিশিয়াল কারেন্ট তো 0।
এখন তো তুমি কারেন্টেরও ফাংশন বার করতে পারবে। হোয়াট ইজ দ্য ফাংশন অফ কারেন্ট?
স্যার এম
মাইনাস m by bl into dv by dt. What is dv by dt? u omega sin omega t.
এটা মাইনাস কেটে যাবে,
হ্যাঁ,
মাইনাস কেটে
মাইনাস
যাবে
মাইনাস
সামনে।
প্লাস হয়ে যাবে। সো সাইন ওমেগা টি এবার বসিয়ে দাও, টি এর ভ্যালু 0, এটা 0 চলে আসবে,
আচ্ছা ওকে
রাইট? কারেন্ট তো ইন্ডাক্টরে হঠাৎ করে আসতে পারে না, সো ইনিশিয়ালি ইট ওয়াজ 0, ইট উইল বি 0.
ওকে
ইজ ইট ক্লিয়ার এভরিওয়ান?
ইয়েস স্যার।
স্যার ওই লাস্ট পার্টটা একবার বলে দেবেন, মানে ওই cos ওমেগা টি cos করতে গেলে ওটাও sin ওমেগা টি প্লাস পাই বাই 2 ছিল।
সাইন ওমেগা টি প্লাস পাই বাই 2 কোথায়?
ও আচ্ছা, ঠিক আছে।
এটা বাড়িতে করবে, একই জিনিস।
স্যার আগেরটা একবার দেখো সলিউশনটা।
দেখো